Alright, welcome back to another video of Davian's phone collection. Today we're going to be doing my January 2023 phone and tablet collection. I have about 13 phones that's a new record and still 4 tablets. And the newest arrival is the Samsung Galaxy S4 on Verizon. It's going to be freaking epic. Now let's get on to the video. Later when I turn on the iPhone 7 Plus, it will require a passcode for Touch ID. Starting here is my LG C1300 on Singular. It works totally fine, even though the SIM card I put it into a different phone at, but it does fully work and fully functional in anything. Next up is my LG Rumor Touch on Sprint. It works totally fine with no issues whatsoever, and all Sprint phones do say looking for service, because Sprint's network has been shut down permanently. Next up is my Samsung SGH A107 on AT&T. It works totally fine with no issues whatsoever. Here we go. Next up is my Pancake Breakout on Verizon. It works totally fine with no issues whatsoever. Next up is my Caracera Duramax on Sprint. It works totally fine with no issues whatsoever. Next up is my Samsung Galaxy S4 on Verizon. It works but has a busted AMOLED. Next up, I have 2 Samsung Galaxy S7s, both on Verizon. They both work so far, even though the gold one has some issues. Not on software, but on the hardware. Bad microphone and bad camera. Next up is my iPhone 7 Plus unlocked. It works totally fine with no issues whatsoever, even though it is cracked. And sometimes the digitizer just falls into halts. Next up is my Samsung Galaxy J3 Eclipse on Verizon. It works totally fine with no issues whatsoever. I have to enter my passcode right here. Next up is my Motorola Moto E6 on TrackPhone. It works, except it has partially slow performance in it. Lastly, for the phones, is my Orbic Journey V on Verizon. Works totally fine, even though the D-pad is iffy. So now let's move on to tablets. Now on the tablets, starting here is my iPad first iteration. It works totally fine, even though it has a bad power button. Now I'll tell you the months before I move on that I picked the devices up. Those 2 phones I got in July, this one in March, this one last year. Sorry for the audio issues. This one December 5th. This one in May. This one here in November. This one here September, October, March 2020, May, 2 last year, and 2 in 2019. Next up is my iPad 2, which works totally fine, even though the power button presses by itself. Next up is my Samsung Galaxy Tab A 10.1 inch 2019. Works totally fine, even though sometimes it does slow down, and the headphone jack does not work. Last but not least is my RCA Galileo Pro. It works totally fine, even though it has a bad charging port and USB port. The same issue went with my Samsung Convoy 4. So now let's unlock all of my devices. Took too long to get the Touch ID to activate. And I found out that the battery does fit onto the Galaxy J3 Eclipse, except you have to hold it. This one used to be my main phone. And with iOS 5 devices, you cannot sign into Apple ID anymore. I've removed the unicorn junk on it on my old attempt. Now that's going to do me with my January 2023 phone and tablet collection. December 6th, the Galaxy J3 Orb. Nope, not the J3 Orb, but the S4 goes in a drop test. This is Davian's phone collection. Thank you for watching. I hope you like, subscribe, and comment, and I'll see you again in my next video.